Hello my friends, coming to you from a beautiful outback location in Australia. If you haven't met me before, my name is Christy. I have been travelling Australia in my van Gypsy for almost 4 years. I do work full-time remotely in finance, but I also create 1 to 2 YouTube videos a week, and I'm also a wildlife artist. So this video, I have previously talked about my income streams and how I manage my money and my retirement plans, but this video is going to focus more on how I'm working towards monetizing my artwork business. So it has been quite a journey. I actually hadn't picked up a pen or paintbrush, pencil paintbrush for years before I started van life. So just before I moved into the van, I did start creating again, and I created a whole bunch of artwork back then, but to be honest, it's been dribs and drabs ever since I've been in the van. It's not been my main focus. I really have focused a lot on YouTube over the last couple of years. So anyway, the last 6 months I'm like, okay, I need to get this business really up and running now and work out how best to do that. So this video is going to take you through some of the things I have tried and failed and what I'm doing now, and maybe we'll check in another 6 months' time and just see how it's going. But yeah, let me take you through where we're at. So when I moved into the van, I knew that I wanted to be able to sell my artwork and maybe some of it from my van as I travel Australia. So I thought, what's the best way that I can try and reach a really big audience with the artwork, but be able to sell it to them and not have to hold all the stock, because I'm obviously in a very limited space here. So on social media, there was a lot of talk about print-on-demand services. So print-on-demand is where I can set up a website with another print provider, and then people can place orders and it goes straight to that print provider, and then the printer will print the products and send them straight out to the customer. So it's actually a really hands-off experience for me. And whilst that sounds great, I have persisted down this avenue for maybe 2 years trying to get that to work. And so first of all, I went straight with one print company in Queensland, I think they are. And so I built a website through their website. And that just didn't work. It was clunky. It just didn't work for me. And it was limited amount of products that, I could print on, because I was really limited to what they would print on and the quality that they would print in. So then I thought, okay, I'll shut that down. So then I decided to try Printify, and I did a fair bit of research. And when you're trying to do print on demand, it's really important to research all the different fees that you're going to be paying, the percentages, like shipping, all of this. Like, you really want to make sure that you're covering all of that, because you want to make sure that you've got enough margin in it that you're actually making money. So I did all of that, and I marked my prices as such that I was still going to make probably about 30% on most products. However, once again, it really didn't work for me, and I will admit I'm quite a perfectionist and a bit of a control freak. So I was just finding that some of the products just weren't printing to the quality that I would have liked. So the quality control for me was not there. When you are having that hands-off experience, you're just not involved in that process. And so sometimes, like my best friend ordered, bless her heart, she ordered some coasters, and she was so worried to show me them because they were just terrible. They were printed so badly. They were chipped. It wasn't great. And so I love the idea of my artwork being on products. Like, I think that's amazing, because that's a great way to get your artwork out there as well. But it's just not practical. So unless I was to actually team up with someone that makes those products, I don't know, like it just wasn't working for me. So I've had to redirect, and I thought, okay, so I shut that probably down late last year, I think. I was just like, I'm over this, I can't deal with this anymore. Sat with it for a while, and then I thought, okay, maybe I'm just going to go to printing prints, because really that's what artists do. They sell their prints, and I think maybe, I'm not sure I thought my artwork was worthy of being a fine art print, if I'm really honest. I think when you're an artist, you have a bit of imposter syndrome, so there was that. And I thought, okay, let's just bite the bullet and give this a go, Christy. So I thought, can I actually buy a decent printer and print the prints myself in the van? And I'm not sure if there's anyone else in the world doing this, but I thought I like to think outside the box, let's give it a go. So I did a lot of research and I looked at a lot of YouTube videos of other artists and what printers they were using. And I wound up getting an Epson P700, which is what it's called in the States, but in Australia it's a 706 for some weird reason. So there was that hurdle as well, just trying to work all that out, because I was like, do I need to import this printer over here? What's going on? And every single step I have taken has been such a challenge, but I don't know, I suppose with the universe, you know, nothing's ever going to be straightforward. It really wants you to prove that this is something you really want. So anyway, I wound up getting the printer, and then the next challenge was, where am I going to put the printer? Because it's so big. So I had an original plan of I would put it under my seat here at the window. I did all the measurements and I thought I could slide it in and it would anyway. I tried all that and it didn't fit. So I had to redirect, and lo and behold, it actually fit in one of the drawers under my bed, like perfectly. So thank goodness for that. So it is a bit of a pain having to pull the printer out and set it up every time you want to use it, but it's, you know, that's the same everything in van life. You know, there's no conveniences in van life. It's all about, you know, just making it try as convenient as it can be for you. So I wound up getting the printer. Now you think, okay, that's great. She's done the drawings. She's now taken photos of them, set them up in Photoshop, and she's going to print them. It has not been that easy. So I've had to research what the best paper is to use. I've had to try different papers. I've had to find what packaging I can use, because I want to try and use sustainable packaging to post out the prints. So I needed the prints to be in some sort of plastic, I suppose, for like cover when I posted them, because I don't want them to be damaged in post. So I wound up going with cellophane, because that it can actually be composted into the earth. And I've just gone obviously with cardboard, and I've got some recycled material backing for the prints. And I'm also doing stickers as well, so I had to trial and error different sticker paper, do some research around that. But then also I found that when you print, it will print, the colours will print differently on different paper. So I have spent hours and hours and hours trying to work out how to print properly from Photoshop to this particular printer on this particular paper. So it's been a real challenge for me. And then on top of all of that is the website. So I had been working with WordPress for quite a while. And WordPress I have found to be, like, I used WordPress because it's free. And I have spent actually thousands of dollars with website technicians to try and help me to get WordPress to look and act the way I want it to look and act. And it's just to no avail. Like, the thing is just clunky. It just doesn't work the way I want it to work. So anyway, I want to be able to connect my website to YouTube as well. So Shopify is one of the only platforms that will actually connect to YouTube. And, you know, that was my original plan, is that I really wanted to interconnect my travels, my YouTube channel, my artwork, and sort of make it all one. So it was really important to me that I was able to promote my products on my YouTube channel. So there was that. So then I thought, okay, I'm going to move to Shopify then. And Shopify's been amazing. You do have to pay for it, but it's not a big investment. It's not a lot of money per month. You know, you can sort of build it up and pay for more add-ons as you go, as the business grows. So I have done Shopify, and it's been a lot easier process. But even that, I still have to upload every product again, and so every product you put on there, I need to make sure I've done the product placement images. So not only have I you know, I've got to put a picture of the print up there. It's better if I put that print in a frame, in a room, so people can see what it looks like. So I've had to do all those images for every product. I have had to do the SEO for every product. So the SEO is all the wording that you put on that product page, so that Google can search all those keywords and find you for Google searches as well. So there's all of that. And then there's working with, I still had to engage another website technician to try and help me with Shopify, because there's certain things I just wanted to make sure were done right, that I'm, you know, my expertise are limited. So, and to be honest, you know, with everything I do, I was just running out of time, and I really wanted to get this website up and running. So there was all of that as well. So when it comes to doing a business, there's a lot of work. It's a lot of legwork. And I suppose it's the same with YouTube. Like really, I've been on YouTube for 2 years now, and it's taken me a long time to get where I am, but really the last I'm going to say the first 18 months, I was learning how to use it. I was learning how to take video. I was learning how to edit it. I was learning what my follower base wanted to hear about. So I think with a business, that first 18 months to 2 years, it's a real learning curve. It's a lot of work, but I have created a bookkeeping business before, and it did pay off. Like, it was the same. That first 18 months was really hard, but after that I kind of got it running quite smoothly, and I was able to sell it for a really big amount in the end. So it is worth it if you can try and persist for that first couple of years. So, and I have had a business that's failed as well. I've had a retail business that didn't work out. So, you know, some things work, some things don't. So anyway, I finally, if you've watched this far, can tell you that I now have the website live. But one of the problems I did find, and I want to thank you all so much for your support and your kind words on any artwork that you have seen through my website or my past YouTube videos. I even had one follower reach out and ask if they could get a print early before the website came up. So that was amazing. And I love that encouragement from you guys. It's been so great. And you all have gone to my website and subscribed to my newsletter. But I unfortunately didn't download all of my subscribers to my newsletter before I changed it from WordPress to Shopify. So I've actually lost all that information now. So if you do feel so inclined and you want to, please go to my website and resubscribe. At the bottom of the page, you'll see where you can subscribe to the newsletter. I won't be bombarding people with newsletters. Well, A, because I don't have the time to create a lot of newsletters, but I'm going to try and commit to once a month sending out a newsletter, which will just update people with new pieces of artwork or where I'm at with YouTube, my next adventure, or any news like that, any like specials and, you know, that sort of stuff. So the good news is, if you're still watching, thank you, but you also get a discount code. So all throughout August, if you use the code WILDLIFE in capital letters, you will get 15% off any purchases made through the website, and 5% of all sales in August will go to FlyBy Night Bat Clinic, who are based in Victoria. They are wildlife carers who mainly look after the bats and rehabilitate them back into the wild. And I did actually meet with them late last year, and we did a video together, and so any money made on that video was going to them as well. But what I'm also going to do, I'm going to tag on that video to the end of this video. So if you do watch this video all the way through, that would be amazing, because 50% of all profits I make from this video will go to FlyBy Night Bat Clinic as well. So wildlife carers, it is a volunteer role, and it's a 24/7 role, and I have done that kind of work before, and my hat's off to them, and I really, really want to try and support them with the artwork. So I'm all about trying to pay it forward if I can. So I'd love to work with more rehabilitators, and my plan is to kind of meet with others as I travel throughout Australia, and then I can add more partners as I go. So FlyBy Night Bat Clinic have actually been a supporter of my artwork as well. They have jumpers and things with my artwork on there, so many thanks to them too. So as I said, creating artwork hasn't really been a major focus for me recently. So there are limited designs on my website at the moment, but it is a starting platform. So I am going to start creating more now that I have got the website up and running, and that should hopefully just run smoothly. It's all going to run really smoothly from here on in. If anyone does find any issues, please email us. We'll get onto them. Yes, so there will be more designs coming. I am planning on doing van life designs. I am planning on doing some of the watercolour designs on there. The stickers aren't up yet, but once I get them up, they'll be there. And if there's any animals that you would like to see me do, please let me know. So a bit of background with the designs that I started. The first one I did was my logo, and that was the gumnut yin yang. And so when I started again, what I wanted to represent was the relationship between wildlife and nature, and how its interconnectedness. And it's kind of like a yin-yang balance, you know, they kind of need each other to survive. And so that's how my design started. And so a lot of the circle designs that I've done, I've incorporated the Australian wildlife animal with its food source or maybe its shelter source. So it's the flora and fauna of Australia together in relation to that yin-yang connectedness. So the watercolours have just been a really fun thing for me to do. I really do like to paint as well as draw, and the watercolours are just a little bit less messy in the van. So you don't have to sort of, once you've mixed a colour, you don't have to keep it in an airtight jar or anything. You know, watercolour, it's a little bit more flowy and forgiving. So yeah, I've just had a lot of fun with those, so I probably will still do some more watercolours. So obviously I live a very nomadic lifestyle, and I'm quite often in remote locations like this one. And so I do anticipate there may be some issues with running this kind of business on the road. I am still going to commit to being around somewhere, like there's post offices in most small country towns, so I don't think it'll be a huge problem. The only time it's going to be a problem is if I'm actually going to go camping somewhere and I really want to be off grid for a while. But I'm quite happy. I'm the kind of person that gets really itchy feet. So I am finding, whilst I love this remote camping, that after a few days I just kind of need to move. So I have put a disclaimer on my website with the orders that I am committed to posting out orders at least once a week. I really want to try and get them posted as soon as possible. So I probably will find myself doing it more than once a week. But please, if you do want to post something, you know, and it is urgent, you know, send me an email. I don't have a contact number on there, obviously, because of my social media following. If this business does go really well and it works how I want it to work, my beautiful best friend who I met we worked together a few years ago, has very kindly told me that she'd be very happy to take over that portion of the business for me and we can work together again, which I'm so grateful for because I love her. She's as pedantic as I am. So that may be something that will happen down the track if everything comes to plan as I am intending it to. So far, everything is coming to plan as I've intended it to. So yes, anyway, will it work? Who knows? I guess that's up to you guys.
There's something there in the wild, it's a reflection of me. People fight for survival.
I'm so excited to bring you today's video. So normally on a Monday I release a video of me off chasing waterfalls in a rainforest somewhere. But today we're going to be meeting with a small group of people who I feel play a really critical role in our environment. So as most of you know, I'm very passionate about wildlife. I try and advocate for them through my artwork. And there's a group called FlyBy Bat Clinic, and they've been a supporter of my artwork for a couple of years now. And I've been wanting to do a collab video with them for quite a while. So today we're going to meet with them and they're going to take us through some of the issues that the flying fox fruit bats are facing in Australia and some of the work that they do to try and rehabilitate them. And we are also going to see, hopefully, a release as well, which I am like giving me shivers. So feel good story. We get to see the result of the work that they do. And I have really hold a special spot in my heart for wildlife carers because it's a 24/7 job. And when I say job, it's normally volunteer. So when you're caring for an animal, you've got to, you know, sometimes it could be every couple of hours you have to feed them, or sometimes you have to encourage them to do movements for the toilet. So it's a constant paying attention because they can be in a real critical phase in trying to get back to good health. So yes, I'm so excited to meet with them and take you through some of the work that they do, and just to see these little creatures up close and personal because they're so adorable. They're really, really cute. I think bats get a bit of a bad rap a lot of the time. So yeah, let's go meet them. FlyBy Night Bat Clinic was started in 2014 by Tamsin and her partner. But today we're meeting with Emma, who's been a carer with them for quite a while, and Jen, who's just starting out. We're also going to meet with Megan and Lawrence, who are part of the Friends of Bats and Bush Care organisation in Melbourne. And we're at the Yarra Bend Park, where there is a big colony of bats. And these organisations work together to advocate, educate and care for these gorgeous creatures.
Netting last year was horrendous.
Yes.
I remember I did one rescue with 5 pups in the netting.
In the netting.
Yeah.
It's astonishing. It kills more wildlife than almost any other single cause, obstacle, human-created obstacle.
So is the netting, is that farmers or is that residential people?
It's people in suburbia netting their backyard fruit tree. So our existing laws prohibit the use of wildlife unsafe netting in the suburban environment, in the non-commercial fruit growing environment. Unfortunately, people continue to use illegal netting that traps and kills flying cockatoos, but also owls and possums and birds as well.
Wow.
We took 23 dead lorikeets out of one net, strangles them. So the netting you buy in the dollar shop, you know, the thrift shops, it's usually illegal. And a lot of netting they buy online is illegal. Its apertures are larger than 5 mil by 5 mil. So 5 mil by 5 mil, which is about a biro, is legal, and less is legal. But the bigger, anything over that, the bigger the aperture, the more deadly it is for wildlife. They get their heads through, their wings through, and tangled up. And they're killing listed species, threatened with extinction species, like the grey-headed flying fox, that's declined by over 95% in the last 100 years. This is a forest-building animal that will go between Melbourne and Queensland its whole life building forest. We're killing them every night because people are continuing to use illegal netting in Victoria.
Such a simple solution.
We need enforcement of the existing regulations.
His mum was found on barbed wire and she passed away in care.
And how long can this one stay in care before it can be released?
He'll be in care now until we start up the soft release program, which will be probably February, March next year.
Okay. So you actually hold down jobs as well as doing the caring, which I don't know how you do.
I don't know how you do it, just you. I really don't.
So it's all volunteer work that you do. All volunteer. And so what are some of the things that you require to care for the animals? Like I'm presuming there's fruit, there's food, there's meds I didn't think of.
So it's fruit over summer. I mean, just depending on the different shelters. I was caring for, this time last year I had 12 pups in my care already.
We had a crazy season. Last season was just insane.
We were paying hundreds of dollars in fruit per week, plus we had donations on top of it. So we do get some support from Woolworth stores. They will give us leftover fruit, but it's not always enough to sustain all the animals that we have in care. So we usually end up having to supplement fruit out of our own pocket as well.
Wow.
But we were lucky last year. We did get donations from various groups as well
because we had it was an emergency. We were having this very strange season where mothers were abandoning their pups.
So is that a common thing?
No, very uncommon.
I wonder if it was do you think weather patterns maybe? Food. Yeah, okay.
Maybe weather related. It's hard to say. Yeah.
Wow.
Definitely.
So we released 418 bats.
Oh my goodness.
First release this year, and we've just released another 75.
Wow,
so
that's
how many
a
bats
lot.
Babies came into care.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
It was huge. So usually what happens with the little ones is once they reach a certain age, they need to go into what we call creche or bat school so that they can sort of de-socialise the word.
Yep, we know what you mean.
Socialise with bats and not humans and become wild animals again.
Yeah.
And then from there they go into the soft release program that Megan runs.
Which I think you're going down to.
Yeah. So they'll need to sort of relearn from the older bats, I'm presuming, like on how to behave.
Bats in there as well. Yeah. But I mean, it's more about dehumanising.
Yes.
As well,
And
getting the exercise to be able to fly.
Yeah. The medication, I'm presuming, is all out of pocket?
All out of pocket.
Yeah.
I'm really, really lucky. I have an amazing vet who donates her time.
I was about to ask that too.
And her surgery is more than happy for her to donate her time and for us to actually go in there. And we would go in there. She would spend half a day with us some days. Most weeks we'd be in there 2-3 times a week with bats, only bats. And she would spend time with us doing operations and x-rays and ultrasounds and you name it, but we would always pay for our meds ourselves.
So the aim of this video, everybody, is that if you want to be able to help, I'm going to link in the description below in the video of so you can donate direct to FlyBy FlyBy Night Bat Clinic. But also, if you're not in a position where you can help financially, any money I make from this video will go directly to the organisation as well. So even just by watching it, sharing it, sending the video around to as many people as you can, just by watching the video, it means you're going to be helping them as well. Plus, this particular design that I'm wearing today, with the bats on there, 5% of all profits from the sale of this design on my website will also go directly towards the clinic as well.
Last year, Jen found a orphaned flying fox in the gutter of her house.
She was just
and
telling.
that's how she got involved.
We got up onto the roof, and there was this tiny little baby bat that was clinging on the side of the gutter and shrieking his lungs out. And I called Tamsin, she answered straight away. She was like, "Yep, give me 5 minutes. I've got a carer just up the road." And then 5 minutes, Emma phoned back and she was like, "I'm 15 minutes away. I'll be there." And then like Emma was amazing. You came for 3 nights to try and reunite this little baby with its mum.
Wow, so much information, amazing. So now we're going to go down to the soft release enclosure, and maybe we might see if one of them might get released. That'd be amazing. How adorable is that pup though, my gosh. And yeah, just amazing the work that they do. Yeah, let's go see the big ones.
So what we're going to do today is just see that this little mama can fly. So she was found on a gate on a busy road. Potentially she was hit by a car, but we're not 100% sure. It's difficult to say how old. She's definitely given birth more than once, I would say.
So we just rung Tamsin, who is the main shelter, and we've just tried to release this little one, but looks like might need a little bit more time. Is that why we think not getting the height?
So she's been in care now for a couple of weeks. She's getting height, but it's not at a sustained level where we would feel comfortable her being able to make it out in the wild without any complications. So what we'll now do, she's been at my place, I don't have a flight aviary.
Okay.
We'll now get her into a flight aviary so she can get a little bit more exercise before she goes back out into the wild. So
this facility here, you wouldn't leave bats here. This is just a test run.
This is our soft release enclosure.
Yeah.
So when we have the pups at the end of the season, so Hamish will eventually come in here when he's ready to be released.
Yeah.
So this is just before release.
Okay.
So what we do just before release is after they've been to creche and they've learnt to socialise with all the other bats, we then bring them here. We keep them here for I think 10 odd days, just depending on the weather.
Okay.
And then we literally open up the hatch and then they go out and they migrate with all the other the colony, which is just slightly down this way a little bit,
amazing.
And join the rest of the bats. Because he's come in at such a young age, he's quite comfortable and he sleeps through the night, so there's no problems. The little ones that have come in after being on mum for 3-4 weeks, normally when mum starts to leave them in the colony at 4 weeks, so what they'll do is where you saw most of the males hanging out, and then females will hang out together as well. So when they fly out when their babies are old enough, they'll put all their babies in one tree, so they create a creche tree. And then mums will come back and check on them throughout the night, and then they'll go out and feed, so they'll sort of take turns to do that. Those ones that come into care where mum's been injured or hurt when they're older, once it hits that sort of fly-in time, so that's the other thing to look out for too. If you're hanging around here, watch fly-in. Fly-in is just as spectacular as fly out to see. So we tried to do reunites at fly-in. And you hear the mums calling for their babies, well, their pups, obviously they're too young at the moment, but when the pups are left behind, you'll hear babies crying and mums crying, and they're flying around, and you'll see them all sort of catching up with each other again, and it's just the most magical thing to see is a mum and a pup reunite. It's absolutely magical. But they're the ones that when they come into care at sort of sunrise, you'll hear them crying.
Yeah,
So often what we'll do is we'll just pop them on us and jump back into bed again.
So this area through here is there's a colony in here. So how many bats would you say would typically be in a colony?
It can vary depending on the time of the year. So I think at the moment, gosh, it could be even a couple of thousands at the moment.
Yeah, wow.
It can go up to tens of thousands. This time last year, both sides at this particular point in time were heaving with bats. And this year, we're just not seeing as many in the colony as we had this time the previous year.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between a male and a female?
Male and females are identified exactly as you would identify a cat or a dog. It's pretty obvious when you look at their anatomy which is which.
Wonderful,
Yeah.
thank you. So apparently they also get asked how they go to the toilet, which I now understand makes sense, because if they're hanging upside down and they go to the toilet, that would be quite unfortunate. So apparently they do flip when they go to the toilet. I am in bat heaven. They're everywhere. All behind me, all up here. They're everywhere. Listen to them. I often talk about the delicate balance between our natural environment and our wildlife, and how they rely on each other to survive. And these little travelling nomads are no different. They're keystone pollinators for the Australian bush, in particular our eucalypt forests. They can pollinate up to over 50 native trees. They can fly up to 50 kilometres in one night, and then they spread up to about 60,000 seeds each as they fly. So it's just another reason why it's so important to protect this species. Wow, what a day. That was so amazing to see the bats up close and the little baby ones. Oh my God, so adorable. But yes, I just want to reiterate that if you do want to help, I will leave a link below so that you can donate directly to FlyBy Night Bat Clinic. Otherwise, as I said, just by watching this video, it's going to help them, because any money I make off this video, I'm going to send directly to FlyBy. And also any items that you purchase from my website with the bat design on there, 5% of all profits will go to them forever as well. So I greatly appreciate you watching. Please like, share, comments and subscribe. The further this video goes, the more help we will be providing these carers and these beautiful bats.